What's good, comic fam? It's another month of comic books we're adding to our pull list, and you only got a few days left, so you know we be trying to get this out on time.
Last month we said we were going to be better about this.
And we were not.
We should be a little better this time, right?
Dude, we almost decided to delay the video today until we saw that if we release it next week, it gives the community like a couple days to order anything we talk about.
We want to give you a little bit of time to see something cool that we talk about here. Jump onto your previews catalog, call your LCS, do whatever you got to do to get these books on your pull list.
Yeah, you may miss stuff. There's a lot of things being updated every single month. And how does comic sales work, Ryan?
Well, Tom, comics are advertised a few months before they're actually published. So you have to look at the catalog and order what you want through your local comic shop several months in advance. So right now, we are going through the October catalog for books that are being released in December. So you have to plan ahead.
And what's this? A comic book by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. We've talked about this creative team on the mic before. You know that they bring the heat. Their ability to draw and create a noir narrative is unlike any other, and they got something in store for the community, and you can order it right now.
So this is Reckless. It is a standalone graphic novel. It's coming out in December, and it's going to be the first of three. They're actually doing three of these to come out within the next year, it says. So by the end of 2021, we should have all three of these collected, finished. But this story, Reckless, is about this kind of like hard-boiled, standalone kind of dude in the 80s in Los Angeles. It's not like a dark and dreary kind of 1940s noir like people think about when they hear a film noir. This is like a really sunny kind of... They've called it like Point Break. They've used Point Break in the description, which is like a surfing movie with Keanu Reeves, and it doesn't exactly feel like something that Ed Brubaker would normally do, which is exciting to me. Like last time we talked about Pulp, which was like an old-timey cowboy story.
You are a big fan of Deep Blue Sea.
I talk about it every single day on this channel.
Absolutely.
You have to like tell me not to talk about Deep Blue Sea anymore.
You love LL Cool J as well.
I do. I have a tattoo of LL Cool J also.
Really, all you need to know is that it's Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. That should be enough. But the fact that they're writing a narrative about a good guy is a little out of the norm, right?
Yeah, they normally write about, really kind of like drunk, depressed, alcoholic crime fighters and, cops and just people who are struggling and having a hard life. And this guy sounds like it's going to be a fun, kind of sunny LA story. The descriptions are usually pretty vague on stories that the two of them work on together. And I kind of like that. I'm excited to not really know a whole lot about this when I get Reckless in a few months.
It says sex, drugs, and murder in 1980s LA. I mean, that sounds like a great lineup to me.
I'm down. That's all I need. I don't need much to buy this book.
All right. And then there's this other book that, it's one of those moments where it's like, I don't think this is written for me. I don't think I may even like it, but I got to order it because what?
Tom's ordering it. I'm not.
I'm going to put it on my pull list. I'll let you borrow it.
Sure.
All right. But we have Homesick Pilots. And let me read you the synopsis of this issue 1 being brought by Image Comics and being released December 9th for an MSRP of $3.99. We have, in the summer of 1994, a haunted house walks across California.
Weird, but okay.
All right. Well, inside is Amy, lead singer of a high school punk band who's been missing for weeks. How did she get there, and what do these ghosts want? Expect 3-chord songs and a bloody action that's, get this, Power Rangers meets The Shining. Yes, really. It's that last line that made me hit the order button because I have to know what that means. Power Rangers meets The Shining. I mean, I like both of them.
Yeah.
But not typically together.
Yeah. And it's something about the title. I know that's the name. I'm pretty sure Homesick Pilots is the name. It sounds like the name of this band, this punk band that they're talking about, and something about the whole description, the whole package is kind of off. Doesn't sound like my thing. So I'm taking a pass on this one, but that's all you.
And in December, we got Ryan's favorite holiday, Ryan's favorite month. He loves the snow. He loves snowflakes. He loves ice skiing. And he also loves his milk and cookies.
All of those are true.
That's right.
I love ice skiing.
Ice skating too.
That too.
You can twirl like no one I've ever seen.
The grace of a ballerina.
And this month, we have a treat from our Ice Cream Man, our favorite horror anthology, Ice Cream Man 22, featuring an advent calendar on the cover. And you know that it was something that they had to do.
Apparently, according to previews, it's coming out on the 23rd of December, so it is extremely festive.
Be warned.
I'm sure it's a very happy, uplifting story within, too. So you can have that to look forward to.
All right, then moving on over to IDW. You know they're handling the Usagi Yojimbo franchise, and they're doing it quite well because they are teaming up with a very talented, now exclusive to Marvel Comics artist. Do you remember when I said, kind of jokingly earlier in the year, like January, I said, oh, Comic Fam, I'm calling it right now. It's the year of the peach. Do you remember when I said that?
I think I do.
And then do you remember how many members of the community were like, oh, yeah, she's really good, but there's a lot of great talent this year. And I'm like, yeah, but it's the year of the peach, Comic Fam. And then I would come on and say it again, and I can't say it again and again. And then all of a sudden, people were starting to get a little concerned about the amount of variants that she put out. Like, oh, no, she's going to do too many because, like, she can just do variants for every publisher forever indefinitely, right? That is until it was announced this month that Peach Momoko, congrats, Marvel exclusive artist now.
That's a big deal.
And that means that the variants that came out this year from all these other publishers are the last for what could be quite some time.
That puts this whole Usagi Yojimbo variant in a different light right now, because this might be the last one that she does for this comic.
I mean, whatever they had planned out, whatever they have purchased, they have slated for future months. There may be a couple here and there, but the fact that this announcement happened in October tells me that she's probably took as much work as she could, and now you're not going to see anything from her except through Marvel.
Good for her. That's quite an accomplishment.
Now, she did do something really classy that I truly respect. She posted this very stunning image, this horrific image, and said, "Don't forget, I may be Marvel now, but I am also this. Maybe I'll mix the two worlds."
That's a pretty gross picture. So if Marvel could like let her kind of be Peach a little bit, you know, that might be cool to see that kind of creepy heavy metal Peach style infused into the Marvel stuff.
Well, you know what? You know we're going to be watching, and the entire comic book community will be watching, because we're all anxiously awaiting to see what Marvel is going to utilize her talents with, because you know they're going to keep her busy.
They better.
All right. Now, actually, since we're on the subject of Marvel, shout out Chris Claremont getting a anniversary special.
Right? That seems kind of like a cool idea. Recognizing your writers that have been pretty key components of like your entire history. Like, I don't know if you'd have X-Men today without Chris Claremont and like what he did on that whole run.
Celebrate Chris Claremont's enormous impact on your favorite Marvel comics of the past 5 decades with an all-new story. How cool is that? They're bringing him back to do a new narrative, and we're going to get to see a comic book that's literally called the Claremont Anniversary Special.
Yeah, I saw that title, and I was like, oh, cool. They're just repackaging some of his greatest hits, you know, into some kind of Chris Claremont book, but this is a new story, so that makes it cooler.
Oh, and then, of course, we can't talk about December without discussing the long-awaited event that we've been getting teased for months. The King in Black is coming.
Coming hard. There's a lot of King in Black all throughout this Marvel section for this month.
After a campaign across the galaxy, Null's death march arrives to Earth, and worse yet, he hasn't come alone. With an army of hundreds of thousands of symbiote dragons at his command, the King in Black is a force unlike any Earth's heroes have ever faced. Eddie Brock, also known as Venom, has seen firsthand the chaos that even one of Null's symbiotic monsters can wreak. Will he survive an encounter with the god of the abyss himself? There's one thing that we do know, Comic Fam, is that Donny Cates has repeatedly said that not the readers nor our heroes are ready for Null. And I expect a slaughter.
That should be fun. I'm even getting this, and I don't get event books, like as a rule, pretty much. But the first 2 issues of King in Black are on this catalog right now, so make sure you get both. I almost didn't grab the second one because I didn't see it in there.
There's a Peach Momoko exclusive. They don't even have the artwork for a lot of these. We'll show you a picture of just all the ones that are pending, probably the artist finishing them.
Right. Yeah. There's a few different variants for both of them. I'm going ahead and getting the connecting variants for the King in Black series. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. That's again one of those variants that does not have artwork on there right yet. So you have to kind of go in, crossing your fingers, hoping it looks good, like I'm doing. But we'll see how good it looks connected.
There's a lot of tie-ins, and you can tell by looking for the KIB insignia on these comics, King in Black. And there's a King in Black Immortal Hulk 1, King in Black Iron Man Doom 1, Black Cat #1, King in Black Namor #1. Heck, there's even a Marvel Tales Null #1, as well as a King in Black handbook. They're gonna get you all prepped with everything you need to know about the symbiote, and I'm actually pretty grateful they're doing it because I feel like I had to have missed something by now.
Yeah, people like me who are a little bit like behind or delayed or didn't get every single Venom related tie-in that's come out since Donny Cates took over. It's gonna be kind of cool to have this handbook and this Null book, which has a really cool Inukli cover on there.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
I think both of those are going to be pretty helpful for people like me who aren't exactly neck deep in all this Null symbiote stuff already.
There's even nullified covers. I think that's hilarious. We have Venomized covers, Carnageized covers. Now we have a nullified cover, which is basically Venomized covers with a hint of flavor of the Carnageized covers, but they're different. Like, it's actually different. It's so weird, but I love it all at the same time.
There's
Comic Fam, what do you think about all of this? What do you think about the King in Black? Do you think that we're going to be surprised, or is it just going to be a slaughter? What do you think in the comment section below? And are you ordering any of these tie-ins? I feel like I have to. Like, every single one at this point. I got to just get them all. I'm not going to stand back and miss out on the Immortal Hulk one.
I'm not doing all of them. I'm just doing ones for books that I'm already getting. Okay. Immortal Hulk, and I'm getting the Iron Man Dr. Doom one. Since I'm on those titles.
Now, Ryan, I need you to spill the beans and mash the guacamole for me here because I'm a little confused because I almost missed out on some Cullen Bunn goodness because Preview's poll actually prioritizes a lot of the larger publishers at the top, but there's some major content creators that are making comic books right now that are just listed in other parts of the site, and you just got to know where to find them.
If you scroll down on this catalog website, you've got your Marvel. You got your Image books near the top, like Tom was saying. You get further down through Dynamite and IDW, and then even beyond like the toys and the shirts, there's a section down there called Comics and Graphic Novels. It's just kind of like a catch-all section for all of the smaller publishers, like AWA.
Like Scout Comics is going to be on there?
Exactly. So all of your smaller stuff is going to just kind of all be thrown in together and alphabetized. So you got to scroll through everything to find stuff that you might look for, stuff that you might have missed.
It's where I find stuff that I didn't know I needed to know about.
Exactly. I found a lot of hidden gems down in this section.
Hit us with erratic.
So AWA, Tom and I actually talked about Hotel recently on our weekly polls.
Such a great anthology comic, fam. You got to check that video out. We'll put that right there.
Yeah, Hotel was fun. And I was looking at the rest of these AWA launch titles that they came out with, like Year Zero and Red Border. I missed all of them, except for Hotel, because I work in a hotel. I thought it'd be cool. I grabbed that one. I missed out on all the other ones, but now I'm on AWA. They're on my radar, so I'm keeping an eye out for new #1s that they're launching, like this book, Erratic, which is a book about a 15-year-old kid who gets superpowers, but he can only use them for 10 minutes at a time. It sounds weird. It sounds like a strange concept. They haven't done a lot of superhero books deliberately from this publisher because they're trying to break out and do new things. And even this superhero book has a new twist to it. Like, he's got a time limit on his powers. It sounds kind of cool. Yeah.
I like that.
I'm liking Erratic. I'm a little more interested, honestly, in this other #1 they've got coming out in December called Bite Sized.
Cullen Bunn, dude.
Right.
Like, major writer. Hell yeah.
It's about these kids who they're opening their presents on Christmas, and the last presents are like these robots that are like self-aware and they're going to take over the world. And I'm all, like, even without Cullen Bunn, like, I'm already into robots, taking over.
And this is coming out December 9th, so it's very well timed.
So it's a nice Christmas story.
Yeah, it's for the whole family.
Sounds like it.
And that's not all we have from Cullen Bunn. We have something from Aftershock coming out, an anthology series.
Right. So this is called Piecemeal,
where a murderer is trying to rebuild himself by seeking the body parts of children. I mean, it seems pretty creepy.
This is another one of those comics that doesn't give too much away in the solicitation, but it's written by Cullen Bunn. It's a horror story about this group of kids who gets trapped in a house, it sounds like, with a serial killer who's trying to build a new body for himself out of... It sounds like Frankenstein style, like out of dead body parts from all these teenagers, I guess, that are all throughout this house. It's written by Cullen Bunn, and it's going to be like a series of kind of horror one-shots. So I'll give it a shot and I'll see what happens, man. I like him. We just read Unearth, which was also by Cullen Bunn, and that was a really freaky story. And that's kind of all I need. I find writers that intrigue me, and I try to follow their projects, see what they're getting up to now.
What a great present. I mean, it's October, so we can look forward to some horror stuff during horror month. And then on Christmas, we get to open up some presents of our favorite genre.
People just say like Halloween and scary October is the time for spooky things. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, but all the other months are good too for horror. I'm
It's
good.
It's more Q4.
Sure.
Right?
Or all of the Qs.
Comic fam, let me know in the comment section below. What do you think about this video? Do you have any of these on your pull list? Are you adding any to your pull list? Do you have a pull list? Because if you don't, I recommend you start one.
That's a good idea. It's a pretty good way to geek responsibly.
You just got to go to a local comic shop, find one in your area, support the comic peeps near you. However, if you do not have a local comic shop, be sure to check first. But if you don't have one, you can join ours.
If you guys check out the description, that's where all the information is to join Mill Geek Comics Patreon.
That's right, Russ Bright, comic sensei and the co-host of the Trending Comic List, isn't just our comic guy, he could be yours. And he'll make sure you get your comics on time and in a box, shipped with care. We appreciate your time today, and as always,
don't forget to geek responsibly.
Enough said. Comic fam, you should definitely watch one of these videos. Ryan, which one do you think they should watch?
The bottom one.
See, I don't think that one's very good.
Okay, the top one.
That one's not very good either. Dude, I don't know if you knew, but you don't make very good content.
Unsubscribe.
We're keeping that one.